everyone, my name is Olga, and initially I created this channel to tell you about Ukraine, about our culture, about amazing places in Kiev, also in Europe, because I visit a lot of cities to run my live virtual tours there. But today's story is different. It's hard and sickening to tell you what I have to tell you, because this is beyond evil. It's information that shouldn't be hidden, because it will help to prevent other atrocities and other war crimes. We need to hear about the horrific crimes of Russian army in Ukraine. And I would like to ask you not just to subscribe and like, but to share this video as much as possible among your friends, so the whole world will be able to come together to fight alongside Ukrainians and to win this battle against pure evil. So I'm going to tell you about the interview of two ex-Wagner fighters, and they were telling in these interviews about the mass execution that they performed while they were fighting in Ukraine. It's horrific because many Ukrainian children and teenagers were killed. It's absolutely mortifying to watch, because this is not just the video, this is the clear evidence of the war crimes against peaceful people in peaceful country. And I understand that this is reality, this really happened, nothing can be done to return these kids back. The names of the soldiers are Azamat Uldarov and Alexei Savichev, and they are both former prisoners. They were recruited from so-called penal colonies. They participated in the summary executions of Ukrainian prisoners of war, of civilians, during their so-called serving or fighting in eastern Ukraine near Bakhmut and Soledar. And the harrowing video interview was published by their organization, which is called Gulagu.net. And in this interview, these ex-Wagner soldiers, they describe the different episodes, different cases where they committed atrocities against the civilians and against the prisoners of war. They are telling that they were ordered to clean up Soledar and Bakhmut, and to clean up means just shoot everyone. Uldarov and Savichev claim that Yevgeny Prigozhin himself personally gave orders to, as they say, nullify everyone. And nullify means to kill everyone. And they were told that they were ordered not to take any prisoners and just to shoot people on the spot. Savichev told that he participated in the killings of 20 Ukrainian soldiers. They were surrounded and they just sprayed them with the bullets, so they didn't have any chance to fight, to escape. He adds that he even doesn't regret about that. In another episode, he is with the Wagner fighters, killed several dozens of injured Ukrainian prisoners of war. They were just tossing grenades into the ditch where they were sitting. And everything happened, all the stories were happening around Bakhmut and Soledar. That is the most, the hell on earth. They were torturing soldiers too, there weren't any rules, as he said. And in these interviews, they were telling not just about the executions of Ukrainians, but about their own fighters who did something wrong. Uldarov said that in one place there was a group of people, and this, as he called, about 300 or 400 people, and they were sitting in the shelter in the basement of the very high building. In Ukraine we have pretty high buildings. That was 9-story building in Bakhmut, and there was a young girl. So he was saying, she was screaming. She was just a little kid. She was 5 or 6 years old, and I gave her a kill shot. I wasn't allowed to let anyone out. Do you understand? It's just impossible to listen how he was speaking about that. These are the detailed first-hand accounts of the atrocities committed by the Russian forces in Ukraine. Wagner Group recruited thousands of convict murderers, and they are fighting on our Ukrainian soil. Why they came? They were offered freedom if they survived this kind of near suicidal battle. Also, they were speaking about photographs of medals, of honors that they received for so-called battles, and it's I don't have words, like, because the Russian government, they really honor them for the war crimes that they are doing. The war continues. We're beginning to receive more and more such kind of evidences, and these evidences, they shed light on the situation of the crimes committed by the Russian soldiers in Ukraine. For example, a few weeks before, there was the video which was showing how Russian soldiers were beheading Ukrainian prisoners of war. And there was another video a couple of weeks ago about the horrific, brutal murder of the soldier who said, "Glory to Ukraine, Slava Ukraini." What is important, that without the consent of Russian military, of Russian government, this mass operation of the recruiting prisoners wouldn't be possible, because pardoning prisoners can only be done by the president himself. And we can see here the whole system, and the whole system is working. It gives the privilegers, so-called kind of privileged access to these murderers, and that is why it's possible that they come and join the army. When I watched the original video, that was mortifying, because it's just this talk about this, like they are talking about the weather. They committed a lot of atrocities, and this is a true horror. But they are talking as about like nothing is happening. They are talking about some routine. A lot of kids and teenagers died the horrible death just at the beginning of their lives. It's hard to imagine, and it's not the only case. Actually, there are many intercepted phone calls in the social media of the same kind of the situations where soldiers, Russian soldiers, they boast about the level of their brutality. They even show medals that they received from the government for the committing these crimes, and that when you hear this, that will make you sick to your stomach. It's just the face of evil. And this is the reason why I wanted to share this video with the world, because the world shouldn't be waiting for the next atrocity, for the next Russian atrocity to give us the next level of support. And we need to be fighting together to stop it right now. Wagner Mercenaries, they signed this kind of deals, these contracts. They wanted to escape, and they wanted to earn money by slaughtering Ukrainians. And I don't have words to describe the level of brutality of these people. The mind just doesn't, the mind refuses to believe when there are so many crimes are happening in Ukraine. They are recorded, they are everywhere, they are undeniable, they are evident for the whole community, for the Ukrainians, for those who witnessed, for those who survived. We understand that we were not prepared. We were unprepared for such brutality, and it was hard to make this video, and it's hard for you and probably for the civilized world to hear and understand the barbarianism, and that the fact that it's actually the part of the Russian culture, it's the part of Ruski Mir, of Russian Empire, of evil empire. We heard about the soldier who was killed for his words, glory for Ukraine. We heard about the beheaded soldier, and now this interview about killings of Ukrainian kids and teenagers. So when we feel that it's like nothing could happen more, it looks like they already reached this bottom, they already are on the lowest depth of the scum. The Russians show us that it's not. They can go even lower. And it's unbelievable, it's disgusting. These are not people, they are kind of heartless creatures, and they will go back to Russia. They will survive and will go back to Russia. And when they go back to their own land, probably their own parents, wives, children, they will feel this extent of the brutalism, of the war crimes that they committed against their civilian population, because it couldn't just fade away. They were always saying, we are just following orders. And this is exactly the phrase that Nazis were saying. And Russia claims that they are denazifying Ukraine. Just following the orders. Of course, they knew that these are wrong orders. So they followed and they committed this cold-blooded, the first-degree murder of hundreds of innocent people. All these murders, they will be always on their conscience. I doubt if they have this conscience, but when I was hearing to this interview, I unfortunately realized that it's not the only case. It's not some kind of isolated incident that happened, because the orders were coming from the highest levels and they were just feeling free to do what they wanted. I couldn't put into the words to tell you how sickening and beastly this is. Please stand with Ukraine. Join my channel to learn more about the invincible country which is called Ukraine. I will be trying to share with you more positive, more inspiring videos, but now it's not possible to remain silent. I'm sure that one day many of you will visit Kyiv personally, but now you can join my virtual tours and you will see everything live. Subscribe, like and share. That means a world to me. That means a lot to me. I am sincerely grateful that you are buying me coffees and you are supporting me, sending me nice words. This inspires me to develop the channel, to help Ukraine in this informational level. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini.